So much for my vacation to miniseries land, hey? Hi all, welcome in. I'm Rad and today we're updating to Minecraft 1.21 in the Tricky Trials update. Well, at least we will be. It's day 2000, I'm supposed to be in a completely different world right now, but the hardcore world called me back. Something about a big Minecraft update, I need to get caught up. Anyway, I was gonna run the raid farm for a bunch more emeralds before the update, but honestly, let's power through it one more time and call it good enough. If you don't know, stacking raid farms like this will no longer work in 1.21. And as much as I like this farm, that's probably a good update for balance reasons. Look how many totems I'm burning because I get too many. We'll need to make up for the redstone, but I'll talk about that later. We're now up to about 6 shulkers of emerald blocks, or about 100,000 emeralds in this world. That'll have to do. Another thing that won't work after the update is my void trader. Portals work differently in 1.21 and the other side of the end gateway stays loaded for 15 seconds like in the nether. That's probably great for the future, but it does break this, so we're going to trade for a bunch of bottles of XP, some redstone, and a few other things, but the main loss here is quartz blocks. I'm not really sure how we're meant to get quartz blocks in 1.21 now. Back to just villager spam maybe, I guess? I'm not mining for it. We'll see. For now, I just have to do a bit of housekeeping to get updated, so bear with me for a few minutes, or skip ahead to this timestamp if you don't care how I chose to update. I don't really want to downgrade my world to get some of the broken Minecraft stuff that people like Filza or Kolani or SB have. I don't judge them having those things at all, but I never said I wouldn't upgrade to get broken stuff. So we're going to upgrade to 24W11A before heading to 1.21. In this particular version of Minecraft, which was a 1.21 snapshot, we can get something I really want. See, Mojang has broken several of my most important farms in the world. My entire source of emeralds, my main source of redstone, and my entire source of quartz blocks. I lose my raid farm, I lose my void trader, my sheep farm is broken and needs repair, my shulker farm is broken and needs repair, my gold farm needs an adjustment, and I have to use a creative command just to keep my spawn chunks so my storage works. That's a lot of nonsense to deal with. So I'm going to offer more than a fair trade here. As you can see, I'm taking 5 of my perfect infinity bows I made previously, and 5 brand new bows, and 5 mending books. I'm going to make 5 mending bows from that. And you'll see I can't put mending on my infinity bow, it just doesn't work. But if I make a mending bow from those books first, when I put both bows into the grindstone, something odd will happen. The mending one remains the same, but the infinity bow now has mending on it. And when I switch them around, they both get all of the enchantments applied. So this is my price of upgrading. I'm not going to make full god armor with this, even though I could. I'm not going to get unlimited diamonds or unlimited netherite, which they broke in 24W18A, even though that's on my upgrade path too. But I am going to make myself a full set of mending and infinity bows. And if you don't like it, I don't care. It's my world, my rules, and after Mojang broke hours and hours of my work, I'm taking something back. And maybe just this on the way out too. That's my price, Mojang. You break my stuff, I tell everyone about your glitches. Let's upgrade. I'm moving the actual canonical hardcore world into 1.21 now, and we are not going back. We have one more bit of housekeeping to do, and I want you to see me do this with absolutely no cuts in the video. Okay, so Mojang wouldn't give us a slider for this. Open to LAN, allow commands, start LAN world, and we're going to run one custom command here, game rule, spawn chunk radius 10, that's what it was before the update, and that's what it's going to be now. We asked Mojang to make that a slider or an in-game rule or anything else, and what they chose to do was rename cheats to commands. So Minecraft themselves said, just don't call that a cheat. Fine. I still want to name this video Mojang Made Me Cheat in Hardcore Minecraft. Our last bit of housekeeping is to trim chunks. 1.21 introduces trial chambers, which is a new structure that will only spawn in new chunks. I don't want to go thousands of blocks out to get to my first one, and my world file is getting large anyway. So while we're here, let's trim out any chunk I haven't spent at least 3 minutes in. The program I use for this is MCA Selector. You can open up your world like I am now. You can see my pagoda here and the rest of the city. The cherry trees render in black, which is odd, but you can see the villager trading hall, temple with the path down, the Buddha, the Lego build, all of it. And the orange selection are going to be chunks I haven't spent at least 3 minutes in. Some of those are even next to my house because even though I'm around them, I haven't been in those exact chunks. We don't want to trim anything that close to home, so I'm just going to unselect a huge area around here. The outer areas are going to be farms, and this is what I'm left with in my world. Now we can play 1.21. Let's get into it and bring everyone else back. So today I'm going to take on 5 trial chambers, the new 1.21 structure, and I'm going to empty every vault in each one. I'll try and collect both new armor trims, the 3 pottery shards, the new mace, some wind charges and breeze rods, and add all of the new copper, tuff, and other items to my auto storage system. But before that starts, I want to tell you about the biggest project my world has ever had. I'm going to use a nether portal to go several thousand blocks out to a brand new area in the world. This swamp is going to be hugely important to the future of our world starting from today. Since raid farms are now useless, I'm going to build a double witch hut farm in this swamp. That's no big deal, but I'm going to stick that witch farm inside a fully cleared out perimeter, and not just a normal 272 by 272 block perimeter. I'm going to make this the first quarter of a 528 by 528 block quad perimeter, and that's hut number 1, and this over here is hut number 2. I'm going to go into the middle of them and set up Mini HUD to show you what I have in mind. Mini HUD's a mod that lets me see the despawn sphere, which is the area where mobs can spawn inside and cannot spawn outside. The red dome around me is going to show the area around my player that mobs can spawn. I need both huts to be inside this dome. Because we don't yet have replay mod for 1.21, I'm going to have to show you this in free cam, but as I go high above the world you can see that both witch huts are well within the dome. And if I go even higher you can see the much larger picture of where the 4 perimeters will go. I can actually highlight that for you in Mini HUD as well. This grid's going to represent 4 full-size perimeters, an area over 500 by 500 blocks, and every block within the grid is going to get removed all the way down to bedrock. That's this pillar in the ocean, all the way over to that one over there, that pillar over there, and one you can't see that's in the distance over there. However, the majority of this work is boring and won't interest most of you, so I'm going to be doing a lot of this behind the scenes over the next few episodes. I'm going to upload most of the footage to my Long Play second channel, so those of you who are interested can watch, but I want everyone to know it's happening before it does, so I don't just pop up one day with a fully completed, mega huge perimeter like it's some sort of /fill creative move. I'm going to do the work, and it's a lot of work, but it's mostly not going to happen on the main series. Okay, the easiest way to find a trial chamber is to set up a cartographer and level them up until they get the trade for a trial chamber map. This happens at the journeyman level and not all cartographers get it, so we may need a few here. In my experience doing this, you're going to need emeralds, glass panes, and a compass to get to a trial chamber, but I didn't know that early on, so I did kind of have to wing it and run back and forth. Eventually we did get a map though. Now the way that we lost stacking raid farms is that Bad Omen now comes in a bottle. Yep, you can just mercilessly unalive raid captains as of 121 and they won't start a raid immediately in your village. That's good. But these bottles are important for trial chambers. If you drink one... What? How did that hit me? What was I saying? If you drink one while you're inside a trial chamber, the trials will turn into ominous trials with more difficult mobs and more dangerous effects that spawn around you, as well as better rewards. So before heading into a trial chamber, I want to get a few of these new ominous bottles. This is my first one on the stairs here. Although it does say Bad Omen 3, and I'm not sure why it's Bad Omen 3 to be completely honest, but let's get some more. So I flew away to despawn everyone, and when I came back, immediately saw a new captain. Let's take care of him real quick. There we go. I think they always drop a bottle, by the way. I don't think it's random chance. Oh, there's another one around the corner here. That's good. And after axing a few more captains, I had at least one of every level bottle. Still not sure how that works, though. But you can see that I've got all the different levels right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's fine. I got them all. Also, pillagers have something wrong with them, but I'm not sure how I want to report this bug. What's happening is that when you shoot a pillager who's about to shoot you, even if they end up being a long way away when they fall, they still hit you. You already saw it earlier in the video, but here's a clear example. The wiki says he'll shoot me from 8 blocks away. He hits me from over 20 here. His shot seems to be calculated from where he was standing when he pulled back the bow, not where he fired from. Just be careful. Alright, I collected a few more bottles of Bad Omen and we can head to the trial chamber now. So where do I have to go? I got scammed. This map is empty. That cartographer scammed me! Okay, I knew this could happen, but the closest trial chamber is still within the chunks that I didn't trim. That means the first villager is sending me to a chamber that doesn't exist because this world was started in 1.20. I did show him the scam map he sold me and I tried to return it. He wouldn't give me my money back, so I escorted him off the premises myself. Out. Get out, go, out, go. Fortunately, last episode I moved around 50 villagers in here with no trades locked in. Easy enough to get another cartographer set up. The way it works is each one gives you the next closest trial chamber, so I knew this villager would give me a map to a new one. Alright, here we go. This is it, and there is a trial chamber on this one. Let's go. Looks like it's northeast, and that's this way. While I fly over and mine myself into the trial chamber, let's talk about them. There are trial spawners in there, and each one will spawn one of 11 different mobs. You can tell which mob they're going to spawn by the ground pattern around them as shown here. Breeze and Bogged are the 2 new mobs. Breeze are like blazes but wind powered, and Bogged are strays but poison powered. I'm just going to dig straight down as I normally do. Too wide to be safer, but yeah, we're just going to go in and get in there. If you're unfamiliar, these chambers are made of a lot of copper and tough blocks. In fact, thousands of them. Mining one of these out is probably faster than any copper farm, including the one I already have in the world, so there is that. Also, the trial chambers will have the new copper grates, doors, and trapdoors around them, so you can see some of the new blocks in action, so to speak. Everything in here is also waxed, so if you want that, it's great, and if not, you'll need to unwax them. You can also unwax the copper bulbs like this, and they'll provide a lot more light that way. You don't have to do that though, as no mobs other than trial chamber mobs will spawn in this structure, kind of like the ancient city. And this is one of the new ominous vaults up here. I do know a bit about these because I'm not a go in blind and figure it out kind of person. I did play through some of the snapshots, so I'm not going to pretend to be amazed and awed, but I can explain what I do know already as I go. And I do know that vault needs a blue ominous key from drinking the bad omen bottle and then fighting a spawner. The vaults with the orange line below the mouth use the normal trial keys. They have quite different loot, and they're in 2 new trims, but you need both kinds of vaults, not just the good one. So we're going to run everything in here that we can. And it looks like the first one that I ran into is a slime spawner. I'll start slowly with these, we'll take them one by one, and then we'll speed through them later. I really don't want anything falling on me from above while I do this as well. I can activate other spawners that are above me if I get too high. And all I have to do from this is kill every slime that spawns, and then pick up the first trial key right there. You don't actually see it happen, I was too close to the spawner. I didn't realize this, so I sat there like a dope for a minute waiting for it to give me a key that I already had. And our first trial vault is this one. You'll see when I get close that there's orange on it, and that matches the key we have. Let's try it and see what we get. Iron, arrows, and an iron chest plate. Okay, that's bad loot. Best thing I got from that was the advancement. You'll find a lot of these chests all over the trial chamber. They're there because you get so much trash loot. At least that's what the room designer told us on a live stream. Inventory sorting were the words he used. Trash loot is my words. And this is a bigger room where we'll get a little bit of our first oh, okay, this is a little bit chaotic. Okay, we got Bogged and Breeze in here. Both new mobs after me at once right here. The poison doesn't seem too bad with full Prot 4 armor, to be honest. It did spawn a lot at once. I feel like the slime spawner gave me 1 or maybe 2 slimes at a time, but I'm fighting 3 Bogged and a couple of Breeze at the same time here. And running to heal is always a good option in the trial chambers. Throughout the trial chamber, I'll need to back out and restart a few fights, but as I do, I want to be as aggressive as I can when I can. Ah, right, no arrows. He bounces them back at you. Let's go then. It's kind of an interesting mechanic that he can bounce your arrows back at you, but like that, you can bounce his back at him as well, kind of like a ghast. There's even an advancement for him if you kill him with it. I tried a few times here, but we'll have to get it later. Stab, stab. Let's see what you give me. Oh, right. There's more. Come here so I can kill you. Okay, you're done.
Huh?
Bread. I got bread. The spawners in here will start every 30 minutes, so while the slime one's on cooldown, let's go find a new one. There's another one. Oh, chest plate red. I'm gonna be honest, if you had $1 for every time I should have worn my chest plate in these trial chambers but started the fight with my elytra, you wouldn't need to work for a few years. What the heck? Why is that pot invisible? Those seem to be the new clay pots, but new update, new mods, I guess. Somehow I got too close to a spider spawner, so now we're fighting 2 at once. I see the key from the slime, so we should be done with that one. I need to fix that texture pack issue, but let's deal with these spiders first. All that for 1 piece of cooked chicken. Our loot's getting a bit out of control already, so let's get more. Diamond, arrows, honey, and more arrows. That's not as bad. The honey's nice. Honey removes poison the same as a bucket of milk. I think a lot of people are going to forget that, but fighting all the Bogged down here, that's going to be really nice. Bogged will probably be the worst mob to fight if you aren't max armor. And I still see these invisible pots, so let's fix that. Turns out it wasn't my texture pack, it's the enhanced block entity mod that helps speed up the game. Unfortunately, it enhances pots to be invisible if there's a lot in one area, like there are in the trial chamber, so I'm going to have to turn that off for now. Let's go find a pot now. I think I see some down there. Yep, they're working now. Awesome. Okay, this is different. There are 2 vaults here on the wall. I can hear the trial spawner oh, the spawners are above us. This room's cool, I like it. Is there a way up or do I have to make my own? I think I have to make my own. All right, I see the mushrooms for the spawner right there, so let's get into this. Ow, that was easy. Okay, so now I'm only getting 1 Bogged per time that the spawner spawns a mob. That's what I had the first time with the slimes. I'm not really sure how it works. All right, that was too easy. Could you spawn something? Oh, you missed me. Fighting 1 Bogged at a time in full Prot 4 armor feels like overkill. A little bit too easy. Oh, I've started the one above me. I'm pretty sure I can take 2 Bogged at a time. The poison's a little bit annoying, but the rest is fine. Since I'm unbothered by these fights, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to say here. Oh no, there's more spawning. They've done a half a heart of damage. Oh, almost a full heart. Oh, hold on. I've got a few more to take out. Now we wait. Okay, hold on. Oh no, I'm in trouble, guys. Oh, so much danger. Oh, there's a key down there. I'll get it in a second. Got it. Oh, he wanted to hurt me, but my thorns probably did more damage to him than he did to me. Sorry, I'll try and take this seriously. We got a second key, let's go. Looks like there are 2 more spawners above. What's that make, 4 in this area? That's actually pretty good. I should trigger them all at once next time though, maybe. I don't mean to make fun of this, but watch my health. I get hit, I'm losing no health. I get hit again, no health. Oh, there's another one, no health lost. Bogged would be pretty deadly in the early to mid game. I don't want to, you know, downplay how deadly they could be, and people will lose worlds to this, but I'm not going to. I would say for most people, a shield to block the arrows is probably more valuable than the totem in my offhand. Okay, we did get 3 total keys out of that. Let's open this one at the top. Honey bottle and an enchanted axe. Okay, let's try the 2 at the bottom then. Emeralds and a shield. And that's it. Wind charge and an enchanted book. Okay, what is this? Efficiency 1. Wow. Okay, so let's just be clear. I'm 5 vaults in and everything is instantly in the trash. These are going to get better, right? I did start the next one and forgot my chest plate. That's not a good idea. A quick retreat got everything back on track, but I do really need to remember my chest plate. It makes these way easier. Okay, so what's coming from this one? We got a key here, a vault here, and banner pattern. Okay, emeralds, I guess, and arrows and a honey bottle and an enchanted axe. Not the worst. Okay, the trials were good, but a little too easy. Let's try an ominous trial this time. Does this work the same way, basically? Yeah, okay. Cool, so this doesn't initially seem that much harder, it's just slimes. Is it just more enemies? I don't really have answers to some of these questions yet, but let's just kill all these guys for now. Oh, I see the potion effect that just dropped. What is that, weaving? So when an enemy dies in that, what, you spawn a cobweb? I think having renewable cobwebs is really interesting. Cobwebs are nice to use in builds, and not having to go to a mesa or a mineshaft every time you want some is good. We'll be able to make a cobweb farm, probably. Ow. Okay, so I think we're done with that. What do we get this time? It is cooked steak. Okay, let's speed this along then. Okay, so what I've realized is when the ominous trials are spawning potions or fire or arrows on you, and you're spawning extra slime or cobwebs with the potion effects, and there's 2 or 3 bogged on you, plus a couple of breeze and a giant slime spawns on you, things can get a little bit dicey. But if you just take your time, these are pretty straightforward, the same as the regular trials. That's cooked steak again, and again, and again. Okay, let's see what this first ominous key gets me. At least the loot should be better in these upgraded vaults. New advancement, nice, and wind charge, wind charge. That's it? Oh my god, this is gonna take forever. Okay, last vault in this trial chamber. Let's see what we get. Arrows, wind charges, emeralds, and an iron chest plate. Let's collect our loot and go home and see what we got. Actually, before I leave this one, I'm just gonna mark it. I'll probably come back here later. I didn't have quite enough keys to finish it. And so what do we get? Some shards, banner patterns, one of the new discs, some copper stuff, some breeze rots, and some wind charges. I do need to make at least one of each item for the auto sorter, and despite mostly trash loot, copper's coming along well, so is tough. I also did manage to get a bunch of the new advancements. Let's get these into the system real quick like. Okay, that scared the crap out of me. You didn't think I was done, right? Let's run another one. I've still got a ton to find. This one looks like it's due east. I'll see you over there. Wait, is it on this plus? I'm glad my seat's public. You guys can check this out for yourselves. Look, y'all, I'm just gonna be honest with you, okay? I had a big plan of everything I wanted to talk about, things I was gonna say, but it's really hard to make fighting generic and easy mobs for mostly below average loot look fun and interesting. So let's just speed through the actual part where I do this. I am now back at home with my new mace. It's time to get that thing enchanted and ready for its one use, and then I can put it away, never to be used again. I really want to like this update. Alright, I'm up to the XP farm where I can roll some of the other enchantments we need. I need to get something onto this mace. I've already got a Density 5 book. Unbreaking 3 and Breach would be great, but Breach can't be combined with Density, so that's not going to work. Let's grab a Mending book here and the Windburst 1 from earlier. And then I can put Unbreaking and Mending together, and then the mace with the book. Yep. And then we'll put Windburst and which way does this go? Okay, that way. And then these two together and just like that. Well, now we have a great mace. Let's go smack someone on the head. Hi guys. Do you like Okay, that's the problem right there. Do you really want to be dropping on enemies from high above, and if you hit them, one dies? And if you don't, you're the one taking damage? I can just bow this guy and only he can die that way. All right, let's get this over with. Don't get me wrong, that was fun when it hits, and it's over 50 hearts of damage, but will I use that in everyday situations? I don't know. I thought rather than using every villager in the trading hall, why don't we get a new map from out here in the desert near our tropical fish farm? And this first guy has a trial map, while the other one unfortunately did not. That's okay, we have one, let's go find a trial chamber. This time when I dug down, I ended up in this powder snow room, so I thought I'd show you a trick I prepared earlier. Bring water buckets for these things for lots of reasons, but here's one. Water buckets can basically instantly remove the danger that these rooms pose. Getting stuck in powdered snow and freezing while you're slowed by a stray can be problematic, but one water bucket is your entire counter. Once we've done a few chambers, you've kind of got the idea, right? Fight some mobs, get some keys, gather the loot, and then cry about how bad it is. Okay, getting the first armor trim is a nice find. Getting free tridents like we did earlier is never bad, and we're definitely stacking up on wind charges and breeze rods, pots, shards, candles, all that stuff. Still hate getting bread when I finish a spawner though. I think if I had to rate these trial chambers, fighting a bunch of mobs at once is fun, but it's a bit too controlled sometimes. Let's do one more chamber while I talk about it. Also, that's my third heavy core. Somebody's gonna be mad. See, I can choose when and which mobs to fight, and there are lots of ways to stay safe, like ladders, gaps they can't cross to get to me, and the traps do nothing if you're in Prot 4 armor. Honestly, it's just a bit of work for the stuff that I actually want. The loot's okay sometimes. I won't ever complain about new armor trims. That's great, I love those. Pot shards are fine, I guess. I do like the new smashable pots. And the mace is pretty risk reward. Some people will love it, but it'll probably stay in my shulker unless I'm doing something specific, kind of like the trident does now. The ominous trials are a lot of fun because it's a lot more chaotic. The extra potion effects, arrows, and fire raining down on you is definitely more to think about. Not deadly, but dangerous, which makes it fun to play. And don't get me wrong, some people will die to this. If you go in without Prot 4 armor, if you forget your chest plate, if you step in the powdered snow, if you get yourself into a little bit of trouble and you don't heal up quickly enough, there are ways you can die in there. But for the most part, if you die in there, it's a skill issue. I'm just being honest. I really enjoy playing through the chambers, but when all's said and done, I think the copper and tough are the main reasons to come. Completely decimating a chamber for every block would be pretty wicked, but once I have both trims and all 3 discs, why would I ever come back at the moment? Here's an example of the baby zombies not being able to get to me. There's just a gap. Oh, I let him get to me. Oh no, Philza, run! Do you know what the unironic most dangerous part of these chambers is? If you have the weaving effect, the cobwebs, spawn near a slime spawner and you get stuck in it, and that slime jumps on your head. That'll kill you quick. Also, the new music discs seem fine. I don't know if playing them will get me in trouble, as occasionally it has, so I won't do that on here, but you should listen to them on your own. And I do love the new copper uses. I don't want to skip over this. The grates, the copper bulbs, the doors, the trapdoors, they're all very cool. The new polished tuff is an amazing block to build with. I'm going to enjoy that. The new mobs are very interesting. The breeze is especially fun to fight. Doesn't really hurt you though, so it's maybe, yeah, a bit easy. I certainly wasn't scared during my time in the trial chambers so far, but I can see which parts would trouble most people and which parts would be harder earlier in the game. Probably what I disliked the most is how I found it fairly easy, but also the sheer amount of junk loot you get. I'm glad the level designer did include a bunch of spare chests around the place just to throw the trash, but honestly you'd have to be taking this on very early in a world for spare bread, baked potatoes, and whatnot to be useful. And if you have to design trash cans into your new structure, maybe there's too much crappy loot. I do understand this isn't for where I am in the game, but this is where I am in the game, so I have to play it, right? Where I think this would be fun is in the first 100 days of a world, rather than the mid to end game. You get things like arrows and bows and crossbows and diamond axes and some spare food. I did pick up a couple of spare notch apples, which is nice. I was kind of bummed that I fought 5 trial chambers and didn't get the second armor trim yet. I was watching a few of my friends take on the trial chambers over on Twitch, and both had multiple of both trims before I got any. Although it took one of them 3 hours to find a heavy core, and I had 3 by then, so I guess it all works out. I filled up my auto sorter with the drops so I can automatically sort everything that's new in 1.21 into my storage already. The storage is the center of my whole world, so that felt pretty necessary. And when I took on the first trial chamber, I didn't have enough keys, so now that I have a few extra, I wanted to go back in and finish looting. This is the first one. You remember that I marked this. We're just going to drop some water in here and get ourselves back down in. The only thing I didn't have so far was the new trim from the Ominous Vaults, and the very first thing I got from this vault was the new trim. I thought about leaving immediately, but ended up fighting my way through another entire trial chamber, this time with some of the ominous effects as well, getting some new keys, getting some new loot, and yeah, just having a little bit more fun. Duplicating trims requires probably exactly what you'd expect. It's copper blocks for the bolt trim and breeze rods for the flow trim. I don't want to talk about how diamond poor I still am in this world. That quad perimeter I'm going to be making is going to solve that, so don't worry about that. Just know that right now I am very, very diamond poor. So the first thing I did was duplicate the original trim so I could put my first copy in the armory. And they can go here next to the others on the wall. And I'll eventually build a set of netherite armor for them, so I grabbed 4 of each extra trim as well. Next time I think I'm going to play with the other main part of the update, which is the auto crafters. We're going to add those to some of our farms and see how they all work. That should be pretty fun. But for today, that's all I have time for. I'll see you then. Goodbye.